Adrian from Portishead.
I'm Jeff from Portishead.
And we're going to tell you about the tracks on our album.
Yeah, the first track on our album is called Silence. It starts with a Brazilian chap called Claudio, who's a capoeira teacher in Bristol, saying some words that we wrote for him, and then goes into a fairly kind of lengthy intro of a quite a kind of up-tempo track for us, I suppose, compared to our last work, and that's it.
Track 2 on our album is called Hunter. Or is that track 2 of the set list? I can't remember anymore. And that came out of a weird psychedelic folk record that we had that you brought in, and there is no stories like pigs running in the studios or anything like that on this. I don't think any pigs ran in, did they?
No.
No. But there's something that there's like a in the I don't know what we call it. It's not a chorus really. There's a little section where it has kind of a Steve Reich type organ. It's got inappropriate fuzz guitar there, which is like a pig running into the studio really. And that's all I can say about it really. Beautiful song, I think.
The next track on the album is NYLON Smile, which is a track that has been around for a long time as an acoustic track that Adrian wrote, and then Beth wrote a song, and that was kind of it really. And it was around for a long time. We tried many different versions of it, and eventually we chopped out some of the song, and then kind of played around with this rhythm, which is kind of it's just hitting the back of an acoustic guitar, which is kind of like our take on a guy called Moondog. He had one album that was kind of very percussive, and that was kind of our take on that really.
The rip, yeah. This is started out as an acoustic. For a long time, it was just the acoustic that you hear at the beginning, and the Moog and the song that Beth had written, and we didn't know where to take it, and we tried like probably we're going to say about every track on the album. We couldn't think what to do with it or where it was going to go and where it was going to be, what its world was, other than the one that it was, which sounded like a folk tune, and we didn't really want it to be like that. But we were really into it anyway. As it was, but we knew that it could be something better. And eventually Jeff played this beat on it, and it kind of transformed it into what you hear now, and all the rest of it that happened on it. It's a track that we had fairly early on, and it's cool, I think.
The next track is a track called Plastic, which is kind of possibly the closest thing to our kind of previous work in some ways. It's mostly put together in the most traditional way for us as well. It's kind of what makes it interesting is the way that the audio's kind of chopped. Usually where you kind of get a drum beat, you kind of end up with a big drum fill, and then that will kind of go into something, but this one it just kind of stops, and it was an idea that was actually drum wise was hanging around for since like the end of our last album, and then the song Beth wrote, and we played around with lots of different ideas. We couldn't get the chorus to really work, and then Aid come in and hit a back of the guitar in this kind of I suppose it's Marconi
type thing,
kind of
holding
way.
a chord and banging a guitar.
But it was always either too musical or it was not musical enough in some kind of way. It was like really noisy. So but it's ended up really good. And the other thing is that A put a helicopter noise
Oh yeah.
through it, which just takes it somewhere else, which is kind of, you know, got a lot of references to Apocalypse Now and stuff like that.
People have asked us what film would go with the album, and I guess it's more in spirit, just the kind of journey up the river and the kind of darkness and the hellishness of it all, really.
Yeah.
We Carry On was the second track that we did early on, and it has kind of references to Silver Apples and early electronic weirdness. Kind of has it kind of spelt a new way for us early on, because it's faster than anything we've ever done before, and it has a really stark vocal, which is a very new way of singing for Beth, and it's quite different from anything we've done really before, and definitely showed us a road ahead. It was problematic, like all of our tracks, to do, wasn't it? And it's very cool to play it live as well.
Deep Water is the next track on our album after We Carry On, and it's a really tiny 1 minute something ukulele track that's based on a Steve Martin thing from The Jerk, when he was walking along the beach. It's actually the same chords, and it was just put into the album as a kind of human kind of element to it, against some of the harshness, and then I've got some friends in to record the backing vocals, and they just came in. It was nothing was really kind of planned out. Stood around one microphone and did the backing vocals, and it kind of ended up, as Abe puts it, sounding like three ginormous bears, which is quite a nice way. I've actually come to warm to that idea now. That it's actually three ginormous bears.
Automata bears, aren't they?
Yeah. Yeah, the ones
in Disney World that are really a bit broken. They wouldn't even get them in Disney World. Where would they be?
No, there would be a kind of like
some faded American holiday camp or something.
Yeah, Butlins or something. Machine Gun was basically Adrian had a keyboard that you were going to buy.
Yeah, I didn't buy it then.
You didn't buy it. And it had a drum machine on it, and we sampled the drum machine and then just wrote that beat really on like my Atari, you know, and dodgy old Cubase and stuff. It was kind of how we used to write, and then Beth wrote the song, and then we put some synths on it.
The synths like John Carpenter at the end.
Yeah.
So that's been hanging around for ages. You've been trying to force that. We've all got little tunes that we want to force onto the album somehow, and
that was
that one. We could have said something on. Hunter had that thing on that I was trying to force onto every track, wasn't it?
You get these little lines that you write throughout the album, and they don't fit somewhere, but you know you've got it in your rucksack.
Yeah, and it's gonna work somewhere, isn't it? And it's too good to just throw it away.
Yeah.
It's not enough of an idea to be a whole song either.
Yeah.
So it has to be a part of something else, and there's been quite a few things like that on here, which has been good.
Yeah, and at the end of Machine Gun was like a reference to John Carpenter, really.
Yeah, Small, we'll make this quick as well. Small's kind of our weird Deep Purple prog out kind of thing, really. But it has this beautiful song that Beth had written, and that was probably one of the ones in the rucksack as well, wasn't it? That kind of fitted in from ideas that have been hanging around. So that's a kind of composite of three ideas, really, and me and Jeff doing a prog type jam in the studio.
Magic Doors is most probably the oldest track. No, it's not. No, Smile is kind of the oldest track, isn't it?
I guess it is, but probably...
Yeah.
No, Magic Doors is oldest, yeah.
I think it's kind of 2003, and it came from just a studio session of just recording beats and playing stuff down to an old tape machine called a Therograph, which is a quarter-inch machine. And Beth came in and sang the song kind of pretty much instantly, and it stayed that way pretty much as it is since then. And there was a wobble that it just sounded a little bit too normal, but then we messed around with it and it didn't. But it's yeah, that's Magic Doors.
This is the last track on the album called Threads, and this is Beth playing guitar on this, and very much her song. It's another departure for us in that Beth's absolutely having it at the end and singing really loud, which she doesn't usually do, and it has saxophone on it as well, as does Magic Doors, which is another first for us. But it ends with this sound which we call it the Viking Horn of Doom, which is I don't know what it means really. We did it, but people have been trying to read stuff into it. This kind of weird sound at the end, but it has many references, I guess, like Hawkwind and much doom. I think it's a fantastic end to the record, and I think it's good. Yeah, that was our album.
That was our album.
Do you get another go? Yeah, you do.
What?
At